Welcome to In Focus. I'm your host, Phan. They are the best of the best, and they're the ones you want at your back when the bad guys come. They are Santa Ana's SWAT team, which stands for Special Weapons and Tactics. They are the elite few who train relentlessly to make sure they keep the streets safe for you and me. Join me as I go for a ride along with some of the toughest guys in the business. It is 8 p.m. on a Saturday night, and we are spending it shadowing the SWAT team. Santa Ana Police Department is the only one in the county that has a full-time SWAT team ready to go at a moment's notice.
What we do is we do all the traditional SWAT stuff that you would think, respond to barricaded suspects and hostage situations, sniper stuff, riots, all that. We serve all the high-risk search warrants, well, not all of them, but a lot of the high-risk search warrants for the department. We handle all the VIP security. We have to train a minimum of 25% of our total duty time. So the remaining 75%, the chief has asked us to have an impact on the violent crime rate. So we work with our crime analysis unit. We work with other units in the department, like our gang unit and our directed patrol units, and we try to target the areas that statistically and through intelligence is where these violent crimes are happening. Gang-related shootings, armed robberies, stuff like that. So we'll figure out where those locations, where the probability of where the highest activity will be, and then we'll saturate the area with our officers. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We have 3 or 4 two-man cars out there, and we're going to target those high crime areas and hopefully have an impact.
Going on these ride-alongs are hit or miss. Some days are a hotbed of activity, and other times they are quiet nights. We're hoping for a busy but safe night.
Yesterday, we know there was an increase of gang activity in a certain area. We happened to be right there where there was a commercial armed robbery. These guys went into a liquor store, bandanas covering their face, held the owners at gunpoint, and then tried to rob him. We ended up being right there on the spot. The owner chased him, we got involved, and we got the guy with the gun, and we got the money. So that's exactly what we're trying to accomplish tonight. We're targeting violent crimes.
Knowing that just the night before they were faced with violent activity, they make us put on Kevlar or bulletproof vests just in case. Because we don't want to get in their way, we are supposed to stay in the car unless they tell us otherwise. That's just as well, since I don't want to get caught in the crossfire if anything were to happen. Before we head out, Officer Gutierrez explains their state-of-the-art communication system, which connects them in real time to all the other officers out on patrol.
These different little icons down here all have a different function. For example, logging off. An emergency, which would say 1033, we put that, shows us en route to that call if there's an emergency. We're also able to run people on here by that function. You put in a last name, a first name, a date of birth, male or female, their nationality or their race, and then it usually comes up with the different states, and obviously California for us, that applies to us, and you hit send. What that does is it runs it through the local systems, the statewide systems, and anything that has to do with NCIC. If a person's wanted for any reason, whether in-state, out-of-state, out-of-county, it'll come up on here and it'll tell us what the want is for. Once we do that, we'll get a hold of records, have them verify that the want is still active, and what they'll do is they'll contact the agency that put the warrant into the system and find out if it's still an active warrant and is the person.
I'm going to go in and get 2 ride-along forms,
okay.
So I'll be right back.
And if the person's still wanted. If they are, then obviously what we do is we arrest them and we transport them to our jail. And the handful of times that they'll come up with someone who's wanted out of state, depending on what the want is, if it's a felony or a violent crime or a serious crime, they're willing to extradite, meaning they'll come out and pick up the individual. We've had warrants in here for some people out of Florida, Texas, other parts of the country, where they were only misdemeanor crimes and they would only extradite neighboring states. So, you know, we could call them and say, hey, we've got this guy stopped. He's wanted out of your jurisdiction for this crime. You know, are you willing to extradite? And obviously when they find out we're out on the West Coast in California, they'll tell us, no, you know, we won't extradite from there. So, you know, sometimes we're able to bring them in, book them, and get them shipped back to where they go. Or sometimes they'll tell us, you know, no, we're not going to extradite them. And if that happens, then, you know, we just have no choice unless we have an open charge or another crime on them. They'll let them go. So that's what that does. We are what are known as the 040 units. For example, Sergeant Full is a supervisor, so he's 040. But tonight we're 040 Alpha. The Alpha designation meaning you have a partner. If he was by himself, he would be straight 040. And then you'll hear another unit out here is 042 Alpha, 044 Alpha. Those are part of the guys that are also assigned to the detail that we work. Patrol, you'll just hear, we refer to them as MODATs. You'll just hear their calls come out as, for example, 342, 312, 311. But the 040 designations applies to the strike force.
And with that, off we go. We drive through an area in Santa Ana that was a recent hotspot for violence. Their presence here will let the bad guys know that the police are watching them.
We had a recent gang homicide here. 2 gangs are warring, so we want to patrol this immediate area. We're looking for anybody that's looking to retaliate or post up to protect against retaliation. So we're looking for gang members with guns, or, you know, obviously anybody involved in violent crime. That's why we're in this central part of the city right now. In fact, the street we just drove down is where the gang-related homicide happened. Okay?
This seems like a pretty quaint area, or seems like family-oriented. Is it pretty common that stuff like that happens, like in these neighborhoods?
You know, the whole... Unbelievably, I think most of the city is family-oriented. You know, it's a blue-collar, hard-working city with a lot of people just trying to do what's best for their families. And unfortunately, you get a few, you know, people that make it miserable, and you get these gangsters that move in, and you know, and they intimidate the neighborhood and bring crime into the neighborhood. And so I think you're right on when you say it looks like a family neighborhood. I think it is.
This street turns up nothing suspicious, so we move on.
A lot of narcotics activity and some gang activity. So we'll see what we turn up here. We've had a couple recent shootings right in that immediate area. We have a gang on the north end of this little block here, Thuy, that's called FTL, and then a larger gang on the south end. And I'll repeat this if you need it later.
Okay.
But, it's called Delhi, and they kind of both war over taxing, and of course the drug sales draw street crime, you know. So we hit this area, you know, quite a bit.
One thing that we didn't catch on tape is a whistle that someone let out. Sergeant Folo explained that this was a coded signal to let all the gang members in the area know that the police were in town.
I'm going to talk to him. If you guys would just wait here for a second.
It's a bit hard to see, and we're not allowed to turn on the lights because they'll make the car a lighted target, but they are talking with someone that had looked suspicious.
We're going to check him for warrants. He said he doesn't have a California driver's license or a ID card, but he did say he had received 2 moving violations. So it matches up for what he's saying. You know, we found him here, and instead of having an ID card or a driver's license, he has an X-ray number, which matches up with getting tickets, which is here, and there's the address that he's providing. So at least we know he's given us a name that exists, whether it's him or not. Well, there's the 2 tickets he said he got for an unlicensed driver.
366 is 43416, 43416.
Yeah, you know, if it's just an illegal immigrant type thing, like we don't enforce that. That's up to immigration. So we're not going to do anything about that. Now, if we were to arrest him for a felony or put him in jail for, you know, some misdemeanors, the jail will screen that, and once, you know, they may notify INS about it after he serves his time or something like that, but it's not going to be the Santa Ana Police Department.
After further checking, they decide to let him go since they have nothing concrete on him. They do think he's definitely dealing drugs, but without proof, they let him walk. Coming up after the break, find out what happens the later it gets and the crime begins. You won't want to miss it. Stay with us.
SBTN là đài truyền hình Việt ngữ đầu tiên phát hình 24 giờ qua hệ thống DirecTV và cable trên toàn cõi Hoa Kỳ và Canada. SBTN phục vụ khán giả hàng ngày với lượng tin tức cập nhật sáng, trưa, chiều, tối, dồi dào, đáng tin cậy, cùng hàng loạt tin tức địa phương từ Little Saigon, San Jose, Dallas, Houston đến Washington DC, Boston, Toronto và Việt Nam. Phim bộ hấp dẫn lôi cuốn, cải lương đặc sắc, tâm tình nghệ sĩ thú vị, vui tươi, nhạc yêu cầu thấm thiết chân tình, thể thao văn nghệ đời sống sống động hào hứng, Victoria Show với thế giới điện ảnh kỳ thú mới lạ. SBTN luôn đồng hành với khán giả qua các diễn đàn và những phiên phóng sự nóng bỏng, ghi nhận các sinh hoạt văn hóa, giáo dục, chính trị, xã hội của người Việt khắp nơi trên thế giới và tại quê nhà, cùng với những nhận định thực tế, sắc bén của các thức giả đương đại. SBTN đáp ứng nhu cầu của mọi giới, mọi lứa tuổi qua các chương trình tìm hiểu luật pháp, di trú tị nạn, sức khỏe và đời sống, thể dục dưỡng sinh, em học tiếng Việt, lịch sử Việt Nam, hàng loạt chương trình giải trí phong phú lành mạnh như Người mẫu Việt Nam, Hành trình xuyên Việt, sân khấu cuối tuần, cùng với các cuộc thi thố tài năng hào hứng sôi nổi qua các show Đố Ai, giải sáng tác hay nhất, giải những thước phim vàng sẽ lần lượt khởi chiếu trên SBTN. Mọi chi tiết về chương trình, ghi danh quảng cáo bảo trợ xin vào website www.sbtn.tv. SBTN hân hạnh giới thiệu DVD Người mẫu Việt Nam với cuộc thi tài sắc đầy hào hứng của 20 cô gái Việt trẻ đẹp, duyên dáng cùng chương trình ca nhạc đặc sắc với sự góp mặt của các tiếng hát trẻ trung được ái mộ nhất hiện nay: Thiên Kim, Lâm Nhật Tiến, Quốc Khanh, Đoàn Phi, Nguyễn Hồng Nhung, Christine Sa, Như Quỳnh, Đan Nguyên. 20 kiều nữ Việt, 20 niềm hy vọng, nhưng chỉ có duy nhất một danh hiệu Top Model, nên họ đã trải qua nhiều thử thách gay go, sôi nổi, phô trương những nét tuyệt mỹ và tài năng, đặc biệt nhất qua các chương trình biểu diễn thời trang và phong cách.
We're lining up to go out on the runway, and then we heard this boom.
It's actually my mom's idea. She knew that this was a passion of mine since I was very young.
Kính thưa quý vị, người đã thắng giải Top Model năm 2008 là thí sinh.
Ai là Top Model 2008? Hãy mua DVD Người mẫu Việt Nam do Trung tâm Asia phát hành ngày 31 tháng 12 năm 2008.
Welcome back to In Focus. I'm your host, Phan. Before the break, you got a chance to see what it's like to be on patrol as a SWAT member of Santa Ana's police department. In this segment, find out if anyone gets into trouble and if my Kevlar vest will come in handy.
040 Alpha. .040 Alpha out with a PED, 1600 South Standard.
The next stop we come to is a liquor store. A gentleman standing at the front is drinking, and they decide to stop him for questioning since he also looks like he's a transient.
Okay. I'm going to check you to make sure you have nothing on you, okay? Step over here.
Yeah.
Okay, anything sharp on you, needles, knives, razor blades?
Nothing.
Nothing's going to cut me, poke me, or stick me. No, stand up straight. Don't bend over. Just relax. Okay? Spread your legs a little bit. I'll step back a little bit more. It's a pipe right there. Okay, spread your legs a little bit.
Okay.
What's your name?
William Scales.
What have you been arrested for in the past with the skills?
Sort of things.
Okay, like?
Commercial burglary.
Okay. Don't bend over.
haven't seen you over here, William, before. Is this new for you?
Oh.
Huh?
My chain.
Paying attention to what I'm doing here. I'm asking you. Is this new for you to be over here?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I haven't seen you here, huh? Where do you live at?
In the streets.
Okay, before that, where are you from?
Where am I from?
Where?
Boston.
Boston. Okay, how long have you been here?
Off and on for years.
Okay, so but you're not from this immediate area is my point. Right?
Okay.
I'm asking you that, William.
Yes, well, I'm telling you, yes, sir.
Okay.
Not sir, but yes.
Okay. You seem to have a problem with us talking to you, but yet you're out here drinking in public.
I'll go to jail for that. I hate to, disrupt your...
Why are you getting so angry? We're just talking to you.
No,
We're
I'm just dealing with people. It's just very frustrating, you know.
Yeah, but we're talking nice to you right now. We're not being mean to you. We're just doing our job.
I understand, Mr. Folo.
Okay.
Okay.
No, I'm not talking mean to you. I'm just doing my job, William. Why are you getting stressed?
What? Well, have your hands behind your back.
Well, but I wasn't. Yeah, but I wasn't out here drinking. You were, right?
Yeah, I know that's a high felony, and I apologize.
Well, we didn't say it was a high felony, but we're just doing our job, right? And you're getting pretty stressed over nothing. Nobody's cursing at you. Nobody's treating you meanly.
Yeah.
Do me a favor, we'll have a seat right here.
Have a seat.
Yeah. Have a seat.
Have a seat.
All the way down.
Yes, yes, I am.
Okay.
Same thing with this gentleman. You know, he's got priors for burglary, stuff like that. So we're gonna run him, see who he is. He's not from this immediate area. We can write him a ticket right now if we wanted to, and we'll make that decision as we continue on. He matches everything, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is probably his real name. He gave us the name of William Scales, but it says Stanford Smith, male black. He told me he was from Boston. He's from at a place of birth, Massachusetts. The same DOB, but a different name. And then, remember I told you he said he had priors for burglary. And the offense, probation violation for burglary. And then as we scroll down, it's unclear whether they'll extradite him, so we're going to have to call. And as we scroll down here, AKA William Scales, and that's the name on here. So everything probably matches. So let me talk to him and. 546-419869. That number matches that number, so we know we have the right person. So we're 100% sure now who we're dealing with is this guy here. So now we just have to call Massachusetts. We'll have our records department do that. And if Massachusetts is willing to extradite him back, then we'll arrest him for the warrant and book him at our jail, pending him.
And if they don't, you let him go?
We'll have to let him go if Massachusetts won't extradite him, because this warrant is out of Massachusetts. Your real name is Stanford Smith, right?
Oh, there's my license right there.
I understand that, but your name is Stanford Smith. Isn't that true, out of Massachusetts?
No.
No. You're telling me no. Well, let me tell you something, Mr. Scales. There's a warrant for somebody under the name of Stanford Smith who uses your name, William Scales, with your DOB, your physical descriptor, Out of Massachusetts. You just told me you were from Boston not too long ago.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, and also guess what that warrant would be for? What did you tell me you've been arrested for? Burglary, right?
Commercial burglary.
Yeah, and the warrant's for burglary. So we're going to be calling good old Massachusetts and see if they really want you.
Okay, that's fair.
But that's you, right?
I'm not Stanford.
You're not.
My name is William Anthony Scales.
Okay, well, I guess we'll figure that out. That's a whole bunch of coincidences, isn't it?
Oh, I see where this is going. Okay.
All right, well, we're going to have to call our records people and have them follow up with Massachusetts and see if they really want this guy or not.
I'm going to gently get up.
Thank you. That's exactly what we want you to do. Gently get up.
Yeah.
Okay, do me a favor. Pull up your shirt.
I'll take everything off.
Okay, take everything off, if you don't mind.
That way.
Watch the beer there. Don't put your shirt in the, or your jacket in the beer.
Okay, go ahead, go ahead. Not a threat. Promise me.
Okay. Turn around for me, sir. Okay. Yeah, keep your hands there.
Straight ahead.
Put your fingers together. Interlace them. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, sir. Okay. I'm going to throw your sweatshirt right over the top of you. I don't want you to get cold here, so we'll hold on to that. It's a jacket, right? That's better. You do have the warrant, Mr. Scales. Everything matches, and it is what it is. If you remember, we're in this area that's high in narcotics activity. There we do have, as a result, we do have some transient activity that comes and goes that are here for narcotics. The gentleman we stopped for a municipal code violation. He is a transient. When we got his identification, we checked his record and found out that he has an outstanding no bail felony warrant out of the state of Nevada, and Nevada is willing to extradite him for that. So, you know, we handcuffed him and we're waiting for a transport unit that's going to take him to the Santa Ana jail.
How often does that happen where you just randomly stop somebody and it turns out there's a warrant and they're, you know, more than what they look like at first glance?
You know, I don't know that if I would call this randomly. You know, we're here because the crime analysis people say this is where crime is happening, and we put ourselves in the right place at the right time, and somebody's out here breaking the law. Minor violation, but it goes to that whole crime analysis stuff. You know, be at the right time at the right place, and you might be able to, you know, affect some positive. So. When we running people and coming up with warrants is very common. It happens all the time. In this case, this warrant is over a year old, and I don't have a reason why he probably hasn't been contacted in that time, or somebody didn't notice that the names matched up with a completely different name and his DOB and his social security number. So if you noticed, I pulled his shirt off. Our records people talked to Nevada and asked them for some physical identifiers, and they said he had a scar on his abdomen, a scar on his left shoulder, and a scar on his back. He's got all three, which matches social security number, his alias name, and alias DOB. So we're 100% certain this is the guy that's listed on this no bail felony warrant out of Nevada.
So when taking the shirt off, it wasn't to check to see if you had weapons?
No, we did that right away when we first walked up. If you noticed, Officer Gutierrez did a pat-down search to confirm he didn't have any weapons. So we're pretty sure, as sure as you could be, that he wasn't armed. That was purely to look for the physical identifiers.
What was a simple violation turned into an arrest of someone who was wanted for commercial robbery in Nevada, which is a felony. Just goes to show that these officers' experience and training, plus their sixth sense, is worth looking into. And off he goes to be booked. That was just the first part of the night. In total, we spent 7 hours with them, going from call to call. Next week, we'll show you part 2 and what happens during the second part of the shift. It'll put new perspective on what cops really do. Until next time, we hope you learn more, live more, and always stay focused. Thanks for watching.